Patty, just the first game, everything that went on with it, get a thriller in the first game. Just take me through the emotions and how the team went through everything today.
It was tough. I'm just going to be honest. It's no excuse. I think they would tell you that. But the expectation, the anxiety, the buildup of it all. And then we're out and we're going through all of the, the gathering of people and the whole ceremony. And it's a little emotional and you see a lot. It's just, there's a lot. It felt like just a lot of chaos, good chaos. But I don't know that we knew that it would drain us that much. The team made a comment, I felt like we were playing on an away field. It just felt so different. We did not know what this was going to feel like. And unfortunately, we didn't get to test it out much, but it wasn't really the field, it was the fans that really threw us for a loop. It was very loud, you could just feel the energy. And I speak for our team, I felt we were very tight in the first game. Took us a while to get going, but the Lord made that game to be the way it was for the break in the stadium. It was a thriller, fans were in it, a lot of hitting, a lot of dramatics. We were much more ourselves the second game, but it took us time. It took us a little time to get this figured out. It was a little overwhelming, really.
For the players, can you address that? How difficult was it to get going with everything else that surrounded this game?
Well, we definitely, we've had a long day kind of thing. We had that ceremony this morning. We were suited up. We had two different BPs. So there was a lot going on today. I definitely felt as if the thoughts kind of were not necessarily all over the place, but there was just a lot going on for us, and it could have been a little bit overwhelming for some players. But definitely, as Coach said, and she mentioned, it took us some time to get comfortable for sure. We definitely felt kind of like we were the visiting team for a second. We had to throw the balls against the wall and the nets and kind of feel it out, which is not really a home team thing. So once we got comfortable, as you can see, we were just fine.
Yeah, piggybacking off of them, it was just electric. Sooners Nation came to play today, so it was awesome. But I think once we got settled in, it was really good. And it's just an overall awesome feeling to be like, okay, hey, we're here, let's do it. And what Coach said, I think that first game had to be the way it is. No one's ever going to forget that game. So,
were you able to pinpoint like a moment in that first game, or was it until the second game that it finally felt more normal or settled, that kind of thing?
I would say around the fourth inning, we kind of got in the huddle and we were like, guys, like this is our home advantage. Like let's JT said, what did he say? He said, be you. Like, let's be us, be you, be who you are. This is the same game that we've been playing, whether it's at Reeves, Merida, or at Love's Field. It's all the same game. So once we kind of came back to ourselves, we were just fine.
Kinzie, you've had a lot of moments, obviously, but just talk about the walk-off and what that means to you.
Well, I don't know why I always got to be in two strikes. So that kind of is frustrating. But, our pitchers, they never do that. They never give up home runs like that. They never, give up runs and walks and things like that. So for me, going into my last at bat, I was thinking about Nicole and Keeney and SJ and how they were kind of going through the trenches a little bit. That was a great hitting team. Miami, they take some great hacks. So credit to them for sure. But going up, I was just thinking about kind of Carly and thinking she came in to close the game, so I'm going to have her back right here and I'm going to do my job and get it done.
Patty, them hitting that many home runs, and your pitching has been so good all year. What was going through your mind as all that's going down?
A little shell shock, but as Kinzie said, that is a big. They've hit 38 home runs in 11 games, and so you look and you're like, they're real. They're real, and you have to put the ball in a certain place to get them out, and you've got to change speeds, and we were not doing a very good job of that, but SJ did, and that was big time for SJ. It was, I don't think we were expecting what they would do to our pitchers, but we learned a good, valuable lesson from the pitching staff that we've got to have a little more of a mix in order to be successful against a big hitting team like that. that team, Miami of Ohio, they're going to do some good things. I would feel very uncomfortable playing them in postseason. And it's not like, wow, they're lucky. They're not. They're just real. They're legit. They're well coached. The coach has done a good job with them. Yeah, they're not afraid. They did not come in here fearful. They're like, let's go, bring it on. You could feel it right from the start.
Patty, piggybacking on that, Carly Spade's a player who's been doing that for a few years, and in this era, she might be someone who could hit the portal and would probably be snatched up. Had you seen
Who is that?
Carly Spade, the third baseman?
Oh. Yeah?
Had she been on your radar?
No.
In the lead up here?
Absolutely not. I don't do that. I don't do that. I wait for whoever's on. I don't think about what players. I don't hope for players. I look for what fits our program. So that's how much, when you said her name, I'm like, what are we talking about? Who are we talking about? So I don't really know them, no.
So when you brought SJ in, the total thought was, we need to change up here when you brought her in, right?
Yeah.
And so she came through for you, but that's the kind of weapon, I get asked quite a bit, how do we use her? Right there, right?
Right there, yeah, because nobody else could get it done at that time. And we needed, and every pitcher knows right now they've got to have that pitch or some kind of keep you off balance type of pitch in order to be successful. And we got shell shocked because we didn't have that.
Patty, you talked about everything going on today, the emotions and everything. How impressed were you maybe with the freshmen, specifically Cassidy, who had a couple of really big hits, especially in that first game?
They're different. I wouldn't even call them freshmen anymore. And the entire class, really, of freshmen, they all have learned from these guys, and they want to stay up with them. They don't want to be looked at as freshmen. And they talk hitting pretty well. They know what's up now. And they're very comfortable at the plate and just really doing a good job.
Patty, what did you learn, and Kinzie and Alynah, if you have anything to add on this, what did you learn about the way the stadium plays today?
It is, the infield is really nice. The infielders felt like the ball was taking some, no uncomfortable hops, very true. My back hurts a little bit because I'm on artificial turf, but it's soft turf, so I don't know if it's just me being out of shape or if it's the turf. My back is killing me. I heard no complaints. One thing that happened I didn't necessarily care for is how the ball got stuck under the outfield fence in the end. That's absolutely not appropriate. So we got to fix that. And a few things, like if you have a new house and you see, okay, wait a minute, we got to move that, fix that. There's a few of those things that we found out today. But it's beautiful. It's wonderful for fans. It's wonderful for a team to get that kind of energy off of the fans. They were very, very fun tonight.
Speaking of the fans, I heard a lot of them talk about how wonderful it was, but I also heard a few students say they wish there was more of a student section for them to kind of sit and gather at. What do you kind of think about that?
I would love that. I would love that. I don't know that I see a lot of students out here, and sometimes when you're in a spring sport, it's almost like they've checked out. It's like they're just ready to finish. But really, the rowdies are the parents, from what I'm hearing, because they're right over our dugout. But if we could get OU student body out here, it would be phenomenal.
Alynah, you've played all around infields. How different is it to have the fans wrapped all the way up into foul territory? Like Coach talked about some of the other, is that something that was kind of an adjustment to deal with, or is that not?
Yeah, not really. I think it's kind of awesome. You can kind of, your fans, we feed off of that and our momentum, so I think it's pretty cool that they're that close. And I mean, we're not really listening to them, but just that energy that they bring, and to whoever's up to bat, it kind of gives you that more of that confidence, like, hey, our fans are right here, we got to do it for them, so stuff like that, yeah.
Kinzie, in that first game in the 6th inning, you scored from second. Was Coach wanting you to stop at third? What was kind of going through your mind?
So, yeah, she did. But honestly, I was at second base, and in my mind, I thought anything that's a hit, I'm scoring. Like, even pre-pitch, in my head, I was like, I am scoring the run. Like, we're taking the lead. Like, no doubt. So
It was my fault.
No.
No, seriously, it was me being, we were tied at that time, right? So I absolutely should have sent her. Why was I stopping her, except feeling like I wanted to get more on base and get, bigger hit, but no, she did the right.
You feel a little bit more confident when it's one of your captains that's kind of making the decision.
No, I mean, sometimes you get, she said exactly what she thought, and when she was rounding third, that's exactly what she looked like. So as soon as I put my hand, I'm like, yeah, no.
Good thing I was safe. Just say that.
Patty, a lot the last couple of weeks you said you're not going to know what it feels like for you until you stepped out. You talked about how the team handled it, but for you, the first time you guys stepped out in warm-ups and the fans were there, what was your feeling now that we're there?
I made sure that I felt a little more the night before, so we were able to come out on Thursday and look around. We didn't get to do anything except look. It was raining, the tarp was on, but I went out on the concourse where the coach's family is sick, so I wanted to see what that looked like, and I saw Sarah, who is the head of this project, overseeing the entire project, and we've gone through a lot together, going through different questions, answers, picking things out, things like that. And for the first time, like when I saw her, we both kind of hugged and we both kind of cried because we were standing right there looking at the lights on the stadium. And it was like a wow moment. And I took that moment to make that happen. I started to feel a little bit when we were, all the pageantry of the morning, I started to feel it coming. I didn't sleep well last night because I knew, okay, you just got to hold it together. But when I start thinking is when things start to come back. And when I talk about Reeves and I talk about Marita Hines, it's so many people you don't want to leave out. I'd have to sit you here for hours and talk about all of them. I don't ever want to leave out an alumni group, but then I looked over and saw all the alums that were there at that ceremony, and it made my heart kind of swell. And a lot of them I didn't know. They played for Marita, but they're here and they're proud. So it's been a tough week, to be honest, just personally, because I've been the one standing here longer than anyone else, and maybe that's why. But once we got into today, we got that ceremony over, I'm like, I'm over this now, let's go. So
that's all the time we have tonight. Thank you guys.
Thank you
Thank you guys.
Thank you.